So our next topic is Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, which is in short known as Amazon EC2. So Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud is a service that allows users to rent virtual computers in the cloud to run applications. So it is one of the most uh, broadest and deepest compute platform with over 750 instances and choices of latest processors, storage, networking, operating systems, purchase models to help you best match the needs of your workloads. So it is basically help creating the resizable virtual machine. So here the this EC2 actually using the physical processors. That means it supports AMD and ARM processor. AMD means advanced micro devices, and ARM processors, which is like advanced RISC machine, RISC. So these processors are supported by this service, EC2 service. So it supports AMD and ARM processors. The only cloud with on-demand EC2 Mac instances. That means this Amazon EC2 is the only cloud with on-demand EC2 Mac instances and only cloud of 400 GBS Ethernet networking. That means it's a highly powerful service, compute service. So there are other compute service also available in AWS platform, such as Amazon EC2 auto scaling. So EC2 auto scaling is automatically adjust the number of servers to have. It can change in terms of demands. It will be changing. So it's very important. This also auto scaling concept is very important because it can automatically adjust the number of servers. And then we have Amazon Elastic Container Registry, which is in short known as ECR. So this one is it used to store the Docker images. So all you know that all of us know that Docker image is like blueprint of building houses. So it contains all the instruction and materials needed to create a complete self-contained environment for your software. So basically Docker image looks like this. So you can see here, this is the Docker file, this is the Docker image, and then finally Docker container. So in the container you have these Docker images. So this Docker image is like the blueprint of building house. So it contains all the instructions and materials needed to create a complete self-contained environment. So this is what Docker file does. Next, we have Amazon Elastic Container Service, which is in short known as AWS ECS. So it is a service that supports Docker. And then next we have a VMware Cloud, which we earlier discussed, which is a virtual machine. It runs your existing software on AWS without changing the hardware. And then we have AWS Elastic Beanstalk. This is very important, Beanstalk. This is, first of all, this is a serverless, it supports serverless computing. Serverless doesn't mean that it doesn't, it's not like physically it is not attached with the server or not related with the server. It is just that instead of concentrating more on physical servers and all, you can concentrate on your own applications, how much applications you want, how much you want to use the server. Such kind of activity you can do without botheration about the physical server, how to handle it and all this stuff. So Beanstalk easily it can deploy and manage web applications, and then with capacity provisioning, that means you can increase or decrease the capacity as you want, health monitoring and load balancing and auto scaling. So load balancing is again an interesting concept. So I'll tell you what is load balancing is. You can see this load balancing is the practice of distributing computational workloads between two or more computers. So on the internet, load balancing is often employed to divide network traffic among several servers. So basically what it does, let's say you have these clients, or you can consider this as a systems, and all these systems are communicating to this one server. So obviously this will be more, the strain will be more on individual server. Instead of this, this load balancing concept, it reduces the strain on each servers and makes the servers more efficient and speeding up performance and reducing latency also. So load balancing is essential for more internet applications to function properly. So after this load balancing is in place, the the communication looks like that. That means, I mean, on a particular server there are less workload, so that the workload has been distributed among many servers. So that is the benefit of load balancing. So AWS Elastic Beanstalk support load balancing, and it also support auto scaling. So auto scaling is a technique by which it can monitor your applications and automatically adjust capacity to maintain steady, predictable performance at the lowest possible cost. Using AWS auto scaling means you can just scale up or scale down the usage of the service. That is, here it is Elastic Beanstalk. So you can use it as per your need. It is easy to set up application scaling for multiple resources across multiple services in minutes. And then we have the other concept, which is called AWS Lambda. So AWS Lambda is this one. So AWS Lambda is again a serverless service. So it runs code without worrying about servers, and pay only for the first time it runs. And it is a serverless compute service for running code without having botheration about the physical servers and all. Then we have AWS EKS, which is called Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service, which in short called EKS. So this Kubernetes is manages container using Kubernetes on AWS. So container, just now we saw what is container, is related with the Docker file. So the containers are actually popular for deploying and managing application in the cloud. And Kubernetes is an open source container. It is an open source container orchestration software with which you can manage, coordinate and schedule containers at scale. Okay. Next you have Amazon Lightsail, which is this one, which is to build simple websites or applications quickly. And then you have AWS Batch, which runs large computing job efficiently. Then you have Amazon Fargate, which runs container without managing servers. So this is also important. Amazon AWS Fargate, which runs container without managing servers. And then AWS Outpost is there, runs AWS services on your own hardware. So these are all important services provided, compute services provided by AWS. And then finally you have AWS serverless application repository, which to find and share serverless applications. Okay. So this Kubernetes that we have discussed in AWS Elastic Kubernetes service, which in short in EKS, this Kubernetes manages clusters of AWS EC2 compute instances. Cluster of AWS EC2 instances it manages, okay, which are all computing instances, and runs container on those instances. So it does that with the help of processes for deployment, maintenance and scaling. Scaling facilities also available. The other important concept of these compute services that are available in AWS. First of all, this EC2 supports virtual machine. So virtual machine we discussed in the last class. So EC2 instances, these are virtual machines that are EC2 machine supports the virtual machine that you can use to run your applications. You can think of them as a computer that exists online rather than physically in your office. So this is a virtual machine structure which already we discussed. It is having hypervisor, host operating system, then you have finally virtual machine 1, virtual machine 2, virtual machine 3, and then from the outside anyone can communicate with this virtual machine, and finally it can also access this computation, storage, networking to a large extent. Okay. So and then this computing service also supported by operating system control, and then it is having global availability. So it supports global infrastructure, data centers, Data centers, because data centers are spread across the globe. So this and then these data centers have the physical servers that have virtual machines, and it also spreads across regions and availability zones. So and also in the edge locations. So it further enhances the reliability as the regions are divided in availability zones and edge locations. So these are the reasons why these compute services are most reliable. Then there is one important concept which is called Amazon Machine Image. So Amazon Machine Image is basically it's a pre-configured template for launching EC2 instances. It contains operating systems, software, and data needed to run an instance. So if you see the Amazon Machine Image, it looks like this. This is the machine image. It will be created using the component of AMIs are EBS snapshot or instances store template for root volume. So EBS is basically elastic block store. So this elastic block store is basically easy to use, scalable, high performance block storage services designed for EC2. So and then after EBS snapshot, launch permission is there. Launching permission. Once launching permission is successful, then block device mapping happens. Okay, so the life cycle, if you think about the AMI, Amazon Machine Image life cycle is to create and register an AMI, and then launch instance from this AMI launching instance, and then copy the AMI to other AMI regions. This is how it happens. And then finally, when the use is over, you can deregister. Okay. So what are the AMI actions? It can use existing AMI, it can create custom AMI, it can buy or share, sell AMI, buy or share or sell AMI. Okay, so all these things are possibility. And so there are examples of AMI. There are types of AMI types such as Amazon Linux AL2023 and then Windows AMI. These are all AMI types. And then this is easy to quick setup, fast launching facilities available. And then this all computing service supports the traffic control and magnetic traffic, managed traffic. You have the ability to control how data moves to and from your virtual machines, ensuring security and efficiency. Overall, Amazon EC2 provides flexible, scalable way to use computing power without needing to invest in physical hardware, allowing you to pay only for what you use. In the elastic benchmark, which is serverless computing. So serverless computing is basically on AWS refers to the cloud computing execution model, where the cloud provider AWS automatically manages the infrastructure required to run the code. So when you run the code, you just don't think about the infrastructure. In fact, AWS automatically will take care about this. And instead of provisioning, and you focus on your managing servers, writing and deploying code, and AWS handles the rest. So you don't bother about other things. This model allows you to build and run application and services without thinking about the servers. So what are the other key concept of AWS servers? Serverless at AWS is a function-based execution. Write code as discrete function which can be independently executed. AWS Lambda is a code service which supports this serverless computing that allows you to run functions in response to the event. Then it is event driven. The serverless computing is event driven. That means functions can be triggered by various AWS services like S3 uploads, DynamoDB updates on external services. And then you have auto scaling facility, as we already discussed. You can scale up and scale down. Both the things can happen for these compute services. So AWS automatically scales your application by running code in response to each trigger, scales up and down seamlessly to handle varying workload. So you're depending on the workload, you can scale up or scale down. And then finally, pay as you go. So you pay only for the compute time and consume, which means you don't pay for the idle time. And manage infrastructure. AWS, the serverless computing in case of serverless computing, the AWS handles the operational aspects such as servers provisioning, maintenance, and patching and capacity planning. Okay, so which are the serverless computing applications that supports? Which are the computing services that supports serverless computing is AWS Lambda, AWS API Gateway, AWS Step Functions.